Alright, I'm back. The new Destiny video, and I just realized I have water on my shirt, so I look like a slob, but sorry. Um, Wanted to talk about the obvious today, which is the big stasis nerfs that are coming as soon as next week. Bungie kind of surprised everybody this week when they revealed that they were moving up a patch they had planned for Season 15, which is a few months away at the very least. And they shifted a bunch of stuff around and they worked really hard and they managed to get it done for a week from now. This recognizes the problem that stasis has been a hugely impactful detriment to PvP and something people have been saying literally since it was introduced. And while we have had kind of specific stasis nerfs in the past, this is easily the biggest kind of nerfing into the ground of stasis, especially for PvP, that we have seen to date. And we have to wait and see the result, but this does seem to be kind of the final line between all that's left at this point is pretty much like eliminating freezing entirely. Like no more freezing or slowing with stasis. That's like the line we're at now. To kind of summarize what they're doing, they have reduced all freezes except super freezes to just over a second. So freezes from any source, from any type of grenade, from anything at all, to just over a second, which is not even enough time to break out of it. Sorry, I'm like really hot. I just worked out and got out of the shower and I'm still sweating, so that's not great. I should have waited a little longer to start filming, I guess. But so they are really cracking down on freezing, and they have done what everybody wanted them to, which is reducing the there's no more accuracy penalty for being slowed. It's some other penalty, I forgot what it was. Oh, it increases weapon flinch when under fire. So like that's not nearly as bad, and they reduced the slows period. They changed some other stuff. Pretty much every aspect of Behemoth Titan got nerfed, some of which does translate into PvE, but like they've really just kind of cracked down the super especially. But one of the most significant changes is they put the cryo whatever slide on. It's not on a cooldown anymore, but you have to run for a second and a quarter to activate it. And that's really going to change how that works entirely, because a lot of people were picking that just because of how good it made sliding and like how you could engage, not even just freezing or slowing or anyway. That was just like a crazy mobility ability. And it still exists, but it's not going to be quite as severe as it's been. They are nerfing Withering Blades and Hunter again in every way possible. Damage, slow, tracking, like all of it. Those have already undergone one set of nerfs, but clearly it was not enough. During this, they revealed the stat that 36% of all Trials players are just Revenant Hunters. Not Hunters, just Revenant Hunters. So I'm assuming like Stasis total in Trials has to be like 60-70% is my guess in terms of total usage. And then Shadebinder's probably got out the easiest. They've already done some nerfs and then some rebuffs and some weird things there. But the main thing is that they said that, what was their phrasing? That the Penumbral Blast was like psychologically, it took a large emotional toll on the victim. I just love that phrasing. So that is harder to just insta-freeze people with. It has worse tracking and stuff like that. And then one big change they made kind of across the board for Stasis is that Whisper of Hedrons, the fragment that increases weapon damage after shatter, no longer increases weapon damage. Instead, it increases weapon stability, aim assist, mobility, resilience, and recovery. This apparently is also going into effect in PvE. There's been some controversy about this. I think it's okay because that has just been such like an auto pick in every Stasis build ever. Like, why wouldn't you want just increased weapon damage after shatter at no real detriment to you? So I kind of understand why that change is being made across the board for PvE as well. I don't think like these changes, a lot of these are PvP focused. There are some that are across the board, but I don't think this like destroys Stasis for PvE from what I'm gathering here. It's not like, certain like Behemoth Titan, super wasn't exactly, rocking it too hard in PvE to begin with. So I don't know, people are still running their traditional kind of late supers for most PvE content, especially now that the raid's out. It's like there was maybe some stasis used, but everyone's using Golden Gun, Tether, Well, Bubble, Chaos Reach, Thunder Crash, like those not crowd control based supers. Like maybe there's some sections where Stasis is, kind of can perform well, but I don't think this is like going to gut Stasis for PvE necessarily, because it was already like kind of situational as it was, and I think it's worth it just to decrease the use of Stasis in PvP because it has been so brutally oppressive. And now the question is like, is this enough? Like, are they killing Stasis to the degree where it like usage rate will finally drop after all these nerfs? And like it's a weird situation because I feel like they've always been on this fine line between Stasis like being so good and so dominant because of freezing and slowing, but then I feel like there's a switch where you flip and then you just go a little too far and then it's like fundamentally useless and might as well not exist at all. And we're like right on the edge there, and I think this is such a tricky line for them to walk, which is why I've just been saying disable Stasis. I knew they were never going to, but we are literally at the point where like I don't honestly know what else they could do besides just eliminating like the concept of freezing and slowing in Stasis entirely, which wouldn't make any sense because the subclass would no longer have an identity. So it is possible we are still on the other side of the line where even these changes are still not enough, and even a 1 second freeze or 1 second slow or whatever it is still enough to make Stasis the pick. I think there are still innate benefits to Stasis, like a lot of fragments can just get you tons of free stats because many of them are like plus 10 or plus 20 in different stats, which is something the light subclasses simply do not have access to. They said previously that they are, and they said in this update too, that they are going to be re-examining the light subclasses in the future and trying to buff them and keep them relevant, especially in PvP. So we could see something like that. They've said that they are probably not going to do the big, aspect fragment redesign for every light subclass, because we also think they're making a new subclass for Witch Queen, and they want to make more darkness subclasses. So it's going to be kind of an interesting path going forward to kind of see what they do. This to me sounds like it might finally be the thing to kind of tip Stasis over the edge into at least people going back to using some of their more favorite light supers. Maybe it will take some light super buffs to make up for the difference, and this alone won't be enough. But this is kind of like, I think them moving it up is a very good idea, and I don't think another 3 months or whatever it would have been with Stasis exactly the way it is now would have been the right thing. We don't need to like just totally murder Stasis like 100%. We just need to reduce usage rates. Like usage rates are anywhere between like 60 and 100% in most games, and like it doesn't have to be exactly 25%, like exactly a quarter of the population. Like it just needs to go down, and they need to do enough of it where people are like, okay, I don't know if the benefit Stasis still has is worth it over like another subclass I used to run and I used to like a lot that is still relevant. I don't know for sure if this will do the trick. It just seems like this is about as much as they could do without removing Stasis entirely. Like we are at a level where I'm not even sure what the next round of nerfs would be because some of these values have dropped so low. That's why I mean, like, there's nothing left to do but eliminate slowing and freezing, which I don't see them doing either. So we'll have to see what happens as of next Thursday. It will certainly be an interesting weekend of Trials of Osiris next week. Once we kind of figure out how the new meta shakes out, and then we will see what changes actually come in Season 15 if they are still doing sandbox stuff. This does not solve every problem with PvP. We still have some pretty obvious, neglect issues where we've now passed the 600-day mark without a new PvP map, even an old PvP map, like a D1 map coming back. It has been an extremely long time since PvP has gotten sort of any amount of care. I do not know if that's going to change anytime soon. It's still maybe until the Witch Queen, where we get a new Crucible map. I don't know if one is coming before that, but beyond late game, and we didn't even get a Crucible map in that. So this feeds into all the conspiracy theories about how Bungie has totally abandoned PvP in favor of their new incubation projects. We have seen nothing to. I mean, like they have a PvP team. It's just it does certainly seem smaller and less. Kind of all-encompassing than it used to, but we will have to see what happens. We are getting some Trials of Osiris reworks for the reward system things next season, and they talked about doing Iron Banner stuff in the future. We'll see. So I have a better feeling than usual, I guess, about this round of Stasis nerfs, but like if these don't work, like, and if nothing really changes despite how massive some of these nerfs are, like, again, I don't know what the plan is. Like, it's either like disabling it in competitive modes or just throwing your hands up and like not spending time on this anymore. Because like I don't know what the answer is here if we can't, if we nerf things this much and it's still just fundamentally broken at a class level because of freezing and slowing. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to trying out that sandbox and hopefully not having 8 Stasis players in a 12-person match or 5 Stasis players in a 6-person trials match every time. We will see how long that takes to shake out or if it does at all. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.